to thank you, Mr. Bosnier, also my good friend William Pisano, and also fellow Italian. And we would also like to send our thank yous to Katarina Gallagher and Catherine Vachon for doing a magnificent job with the agenda today. Thank you. And also my good friend Renee Chabot, who we are saying looks like a young Premier Charest. I would like to share my personal story along with Kristopher's wish in the campaign and what it's all about. 9 years ago, I was rushed to the hospital in Toronto with complete liver failure, and I was told I had 2 days left to live. As hours were dwindling away from my life, my funeral arrangements were already made. By the grace of God, a liver became available, and it saved my life. And the person that made that donation also saved 5 other people's lives. 6 of us are alive today because of this donation. I was out of the hospital in 1 week, and I was back in the gym training in 2 months. And I was visiting the hospital for my outpatients, and I would meet 30, 40 people that were waiting for organs every time I went there. And I would talk to these people, and I know what they were going through being on this waiting list. And the sad thing was, as I was making my way out, I knew that half of them were going to die. And the reason why was because too many organs were going to waste in our country. Canada still has one of the lowest rates in the whole world, and we need to admit that, and we need to solve that. In the next 8 years that followed, along with many people, nurses, surgeons, people from all walks of life, joined the campaign across Canada, where we had a chance to visit people in 500 communities, and we talked to Canadians about this. We wanted to find out if it was Canadians that were against organ donations. And in the past 8 years, after talking to over 1 million Canadians, we have found not one Canadian that is against organ and tissue donation. We have not found one Canadian that said their religion prohibits them from becoming an organ donor. As a matter of fact, on September the 5th, 2001, the Vatican called us to visit with His Holiness, Pope John Paul II, and he blessed his torch and proclaimed that organ and tissue donation is a genuine act of love. And I can go on and on with all the other religious leaders that have supported organ and tissue donations. So the question becomes again, why does Canada have the lowest rate, one of the lowest rates? As it's been explained, and also by Dr. Doyle as he was explaining, right now it's in our system. It's in our system that is preventing us from getting the maximal potential of organs that could be available. And we need to look and improve that system. Countries such as Spain, they discovered 10 years ago how important this issue was. The king, the president, and all the Spaniards embraced organ and tissue donations, and they created the first system where you opt out. Since then, there have been many other countries that have followed. Every country that has followed this system has shown a dramatic increase in organ and tissue donation. We need to do that here in Canada. That is our mission. This young boy here, Kristopher, needs a liver transplant. He's been waiting for 14 years. He is an example of courage, inspiration, but he also wants to tell you of his wish. He wants the country to start acting. He wants the country to start looking at developing this new system. There are thousands of other kids like Kristopher that are on the waiting list. Most of these kids will not make it. We need to make this the #1 issue of the country because we have the potential to save almost 4,000 Canadians. And if we could see these Canadians in a burning building, we would send every ambulance and every fire truck to save them. That's the same kind of feeling we should have with the people on the waiting list, because Canada has the best medical technology in the world. They are noted for more advancements in our transplant procedures than anyone in the world, and yet we have the lowest organ donations. We need to improve our system, and we need to make this issue the #1 priority. And remember that lives has to be the #1 priority. And once we do develop more hospitals and more doctors, in turn, it will be better for us even financially, because you will be able to get people like Renee, myself, and others that are dependent on the healthcare system back to work, and money will come back. It is an excellent investment. We are urging everyone here in Quebec, because we believe Quebec could be the first province to lead the way for the rest of the Canadians. And I know Mr. Cusano has been working very hard, and we have the utmost confidence that he will lead the way. And on behalf of everybody here, Kelly, the father, Merle Roberts, the film director, of course, Kristopher, our leader, we want to thank you for this pleasant morning. Thank you.
All right, George.
Kristopher, the last word is yours. If you'd like to say something to all of us that admire you for your courage. Go by yourself.
All right. I'd like to thank a few people first in the community. I'd like to thank Best Western for giving us accommodations while we're here. They gave us 4 days here, and as well as
The police department for parking your car.
yeah, the police department for parking our motorhome in their parking lot because we couldn't find any room at the Best Western, and Sears Portrait Studios across Canada. They sponsored us, and they are holding donor cards for us to give out to people, as well as their main sponsor for pictures and stuff. I also like to say, I gotta think of it. Merci de votre encouragement.
Kristopher, this is a pen when we meet some people who want to sign their registered card for donation. This is a souvenir from the National Assembly. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Vous avez une petite conférence de presse après, là, c'est ça?
Oui, c'est ça, mais s'il y a des gens
S'il y a
qui ont
des questions,
des échanges,